What's up, everybody? Welcome into A to Z Sports Picks. Brian and I are going to have a great show for you this Friday. Get you all set up for the betting weekend. Brian, my man, how we doing, buddy?
Doing great, Alan. Let's go. Let's do it.
Absolutely. Everybody, welcome in A to Z Sports Picks. I'm Alan Bell of CBS Sportsline alongside Brian Edwards of VegasInsider.com. A to Z Sports Picks is brought to you every Friday. Now, I'll get to that in just a second by BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. New users, make sure download that BetMGM app. And I'll tell you what, do it, use it. There are multiple ways that you could save using BetMGM, all kinds of offers for NBA All-Star Weekend, college basketball, even college baseball coming up starting today, opening weekend, you name it. So that is promo code A to Z Sports on BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. Must be 21 years or older. Must be present in the state of Tennessee. For gambling problem support, call the Tennessee Red Line at 800-889-9789. So, Brian, first off, let me let the audience know we are going to go live on Fridays for right now at 2 p.m. Central, same time. We're going to hold off on the Tuesday shows until we get closer to March Madness, other big events now that football season is over. We want to condense it down, get you all of your picks at one convenient time, and get you all set up for the weekend. So, speaking of that, Brian, we've got a massive weekend here, all right? Let me just kind of run through what we have, and I want to hear your thoughts on some of these, okay? So today we've got the NBA All-Star Rising Stars Challenge tonight. It's a new format. 3 teams, rising young stars of the NBA. It's a first to 75. And I've got a pick on that coming up here in just a little bit, but that's going to be fun tonight. We got round 2, the PGA Tour, the Genesis Invitational. Also have the Preds tonight at the Carolina Hurricanes. Hurricanes are a 175 money line favorite and a total of 6. Let me get a drink here real quick. Woo! All right, sorry about that. Saturday, NBA Skills Challenge, NBA three-point contest. Got Tennessee at Arkansas, Alabama, Kentucky, Auburn at Florida. We've got the NBA Dunk Contest, Illinois at Michigan State, Texas Tech at Texas, Kansas at West Virginia. Also, PGA Tour round 3 as well. That is a loaded Saturday of college basketball. And then on Sunday, Daytona 500. We've got the NBA All-Star Game. Team LeBron against Team Durant. Team LeBron is a 5.5-point favorite. A total of, get this, 321 in that game. We've got Michigan at Wisconsin on Sunday. Rutgers at Purdue. Got some notes on Rutgers here, Brian's favorite. And then the final round of the PGA Tour Genesis Invitational. So, Brian, I say all that to throw it to you. What are you looking at basketball this weekend? Give me some notes. Give me some nuggets. What do you got, my man?
All right. So I went ahead and rated the ranked, I should say, the Saturday games for tomorrow. We got a great card. I've got the Uno being Bama at Kentucky. I know that's a 1 Eastern tip. I don't know all the times on these. Number 2 being Texas Tech at Texas. Rematch, Chris Beard going against his old team. Texas is 15-1 straight up at home, 9-7 against the spread. Now, Texas Tech is only 2-5 straight up and 4-3 against the spread on the road. However, the Red Raiders are 8-1 against the spread in their last 9, regardless of the venue. Now, Texas is in revenge mode there because Texas Tech beat them 77-64 in Lubbock. Now, the Red Raiders, although those road stats are not very good, they've only been underdogs 6 times this year, and they're 5-1 against the spread with 3 outright wins. But one of their better players, Kevin McCullough, is questionable. He missed the win over Baylor the other night, but they did beat Baylor by double digits without him. But he does average 10.8 points, 5.3 rebounds, 3.2 assists, 1.4 steals per game. So he's obviously an important player. As for Rutgers, who is just hot, extremely hot right now, but their best player, Ron Harper Jr., is day-to-day with a hand injury. I don't know if he's going to be able to play tomorrow, so be careful. If you're looking to bet Rutgers, make sure you get some clarity on Ron Harper Jr.'s status. Looking to tonight, should I go ahead and do my picks for tonight, or are we holding that for a later segment?
No, let it rip, man. We'll jump right into it. Yeah.
All right, sweet. Okay, I got 3 plays going tonight, and I am on a 9-0 run the last 2 nights. Went 5-0 2 nights ago, 4-0 last night. Now only 1-1 in NBA last night. I'm talking college hoops only. But to be clear, on a 9-0 run, that still only put me up like 4 units for the season. So I'm not over here on a brag streak. But I am in the money now, so that's a good thing. All right, we're gonna do a Rider Monmouth under tonight. The under has cashed at a 17-4 clip for Monmouth. I got it at 138 this morning. Last look, it was 137. The unders also cashed in 3 straight in this rivalry, including a combined score of 127 in the last meeting. And Monmouth might be without one of its best players. Shavar Reynolds is questionable. He's missed the last 2 games, averages 13.9 points per game, and the under is 14-9 overall for Rider. So Monmouth Rider under 137-ish at last look. Now, Butler at St. John's is my favorite. Going to go over 141 on this one. Now, the under had cashed in back-to-back games for St. John's, but their star point guard, Posh Alexander, was out. He came back the other night, and their game flew over 86-73 win at Xavier. So what's that, 159 combined. So when Posh Alexander's been in the lineup, the over's hitting 4 straight for St. John's. The over's on an 8-2-1 run for Butler in its last 11. When these teams played at Hinkle Fieldhouse on February 5th, they had a 75-72 Red Storm victory. So that's 147. And we're looking at a total of 141. So I'm going to go over on that one. Now, I'm not against something wrong with our stream.
Seems good to me.
Okay. My bad. I'm not against St. John's in the first half. And Butler's got 2 players that are listed as questionable. Bo Hodges averages 8.8 points per game. Bryce, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. It's spelled Nze. He averages 8.3 points per game. If 1 or 2 of those guys get downgraded, I'm not against St. John's minus 7.5 for the game. They're playing well. They had a couple tough losses, but close games when Alexander was out. When Alexander's playing, they are tough. And Butler, they're really they have covered some numbers, but outright they're struggling, which doesn't really matter with a 7.5 point spread. But anyhow, I just wanted to point out those 2 injuries. Also, my last play, there's an injury involved in this one as well, but I like it anyway because without Eric Ayala, Maryland still had a 12-point lead at Purdue last Sunday in the second half. They ended up losing by 1, but they were 17-point dogs and had a great chance to win outright. And they are -2 at Nebraska tonight. And I like them a little bit without Ayala, but if he gets upgraded, I like Maryland a lot. Now, Nebraska, they played 14 Big Ten games. They are 1-13 straight up. They've lost 11 of those games by 7 or more, and they've lost 9 by double-digit margins. Sorry about that. And Maryland played well last Sunday. I was looking at the comments. My fault. So, yeah, Maryland, Monmouth game under, and St. John's game over. And if those 2 guys, especially Bo Hodges for Butler, get downgraded, I'm good with St. John's minus 7.5. And I'm probably going to be on a -4 first half regardless, just a baby play. And so there we are. There's some picks, and I've got more hoop notes in that segment here later. We can get to it in a bit.
Okay, nice, man. You know, I like that Maryland as well. Nebraska, like you said, man, it's just been horrible. It's going to be an interesting game. But, yeah, I like Maryland. I'm going tonight. I'm going with VCU minus 2.5. I'm also going to against Richmond. I'm also going to go with Detroit -1. I think VCU, it might have moved to 3. Even still, I like it there. It's going to be a good game. VCU's defense is stout. I could see them causing some serious problems for you boys, the Spiders of Richmond. But I think VCU is going to get that job done tonight. I'm also, like I said, going to go with Detroit -1, 100% against the spread at home this year, as well as being home favorites. Obviously, I like those 2 plays. I'll throw these out here, and I want to hear your the rest of the notes that you have tonight. in the Rising Stars Challenge game, understand it's the first time this has ever happened, and you're going to see plus numbers out here. It's 3 teams, a race to 75. Bet with it, have fun. That's kind of how I'm betting it. I'm going to go with Team Peyton tonight, plus 300. I think LaMelo Ball and the boys get that thing done tonight. So I'm going to take that just for some fun, man, to have something on the action tonight. I'm also going to play the All-Star game. I mean, playing a spread in that is difficult. Playing a total, like, I'm going with the over 321 because there's no way that I could bet the under here. But who knows, right? Like, I feel like every year the All-Star game is just completely different. But I think there's some young gunners in this thing, man. And I think that there's going to be a lot of people wanting to, honestly, man, kind of like pad their stats, to be completely honest with you, right? Like, I think we're going to see that this year. So I'm going to roll with over 321. So VCU minus 2.5 tonight. Detroit minus 1 tonight. Team Peyton and the Rising Star Challenge plus 300. And I'm going to go with the over 321 in the All-Star game on Sunday. All right, back to you, Brian. What do you got, man?
All right, some teams I'm looking to fade right now. FSU, 0-7 ATS slide. They did snap a 6-game losing streak by beating Clemson by 1 the other night. Now, I don't know, they're at Duke tomorrow, and they've got like 3 guys out for the year, but they've got 2 other guys that are questionable tomorrow. Now, I don't know. Duke might be favored by 20. I'm not saying definitely take Duke, but FSU's a team to look to fade. Same with Louisville. Had Miami against them the other night. Louisville's in their longest losing streak since 1941, and they've completely checked out. Obviously Chris Mack gone, interim coach, all that. So they're a team to look to fade. I didn't get back to my ranking of the games tomorrow. So I got Bama at Kentucky 1, 2 Texas Tech at Texas, 3 the Vols at Arkansas. Bud Walton will be popping. That's a big SEC game. 4 Auburn at Florida. Florida is now in the next 4 out for Joey Brackets at ESPN and Bracketville Dave, who's another bracketologist that I like a lot. So obviously you're playing one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the country. Florida does have 3 home games left against elite teams, Arkansas and Kentucky. So if they could get 2 of those, they'll be golden. I think it's a stretch.
Pretty, yeah. Get 2 of those, you're in.
Yeah, get 1, and then you definitely got to win at Georgia, at Vandy, and win 1 or 2 in Tampa. As long as one of those is either Auburn or Kentucky. If it's just Arkansas, because Auburn and Kentucky are top 5-ish net rankings and Ken Palm. So 5th best game, Illinois at Sparty. You mentioned that one. 6th best, Iowa and Ohio State. 7th, Santa Clara at Gonzaga. Santa Clara is another team on the wrong side of the bubble. I don't think they're going to win at Gonzaga, but if they did, they could elevate their profile big time. Oregon, another team in the bubble. Most have them first 4 out, but they get a great opportunity, top 5 team tomorrow, albeit on the road at Arizona. And then TCU at Baylor. TCU is on the correct side of the bubble right now, but they could certainly use a win at Baylor. Some injury notes for tomorrow. I mentioned Rutgers' Ron Harper. We've also got Xavier's Nate Johnson missed the game. The loss to St. John's the other night, 9.8 points per game average. He is game time decision tomorrow for the Musketeers. Back to some Bama at Kentucky stuff. The Cats are undefeated at Rupp, 8-7 against the spread. They did go into Coleman and beat Bama 66-55, either 2 or 3 weeks ago. But Ty Washington, one of Kentucky's better players, is questionable with an ankle, averages 12.4 points per game. Bama will obviously be an underdog. They've only been an underdog 5 times. They're 3-1-1 against the spread with 3 outright wins. Some notes on TCU, which is at Baylor. The overs on a 6-1 run for the Horned Frogs. They've been underdogs 9 times. They're 6-3 against the spread with 4 outright wins. But when they hosted Baylor, they lost by 12 as a 10-point home dog. That was a push on a total of 140. All right, let's see. Auburn, 7-1 straight up on the road, but only 3-5 against the spread. The Gators are 11-3 straight up at home, 8-6 against the spread. I'm thinking Auburn's going to be 5 or 6. If they're 4 or fewer, I'll be on Auburn, but I do want to point out, everybody, that's paying attention, Walker Kessler has been the best shot blocker in the country. He's been incredible. And I don't have the stats in front of me, but if you go back and look at the Auburn-Florida box score when they played at Auburn, Colin Castleton, now granted it was before he hurt his shoulder, Colin Castleton absolutely dominated Walker Kessler. So Kessler will be looking to get revenge. It'll be interesting to see if one of those guys can get the other in foul trouble. And
Auburn, by the way, the other night against Vanderbilt, I don't know if anybody watched that game. It felt like Auburn shot 78% from three, like difficult shots too. Like I'm interested to see like what their point total looks like. They covered the 13 against Vanderbilt, but dude, it was like they weren't easy threes either. Like they're already a good shooting team. So yeah, I'm fascinated to see what they look like bouncing after that game. But yeah, keep going, sir.
Yeah, and Jabari had a career high that night, and he was on fire.
He wouldn't miss. Like I had bet Auburn with the 13,
Me too.
Even still, like it got scary. Like they were up 19 with like a minute to go, and then they won by 14. Right? Like it got tight. Double-digit spreads, man. They scare me when you take a favorite. But yeah, like that's why you can't bet Gonzaga. Like you were talking about Gonzaga earlier.
Yeah.
Like every single game, especially when they're at home, Gonzaga
plus.
Oh God, it's like 24-32.
Yeah.
Like it, and they don't cover a ton of them. You know what I mean? Like they're monster numbers, but they do some. Like it makes it absolutely obscene to bet them. Like you just can't do it. So, anyways,
and even like BYU's a bubble team. St. Mary's is a team that's fairly comfortably in. Santa Clara could elevate themselves, but if I'm remembering right, Gonzaga was even an 18-point home favorite to BYU, and like 16 or 17 to St. Mary's, and those are like tourney teams. So they'll probably be 20 tomorrow to Santa Clara. Okay, these are the best ATS teams in the country right now. Am I spending too much time on all this? I've just got a few more notes. All right, best ATS teams in the country. The JU Jacksonville Dolphins 17-4 against the spread. Toledo 18-6-1. Middle Tennessee close to you guys 16-5-1. Towson 19-8. Monmouth in action tonight 18-7. And Auburn and Texas Tech are both 18-8 against the spread. The worst ATS teams, the teams to look to fade: NC State 7-20. Pacific 5-17-1. Oregon State 6-17-1. They were in the Elite Eight last year. I'm pretty sure they've only won 3 games this year. I tweeted about it either earlier today or last night. Marshall 6-16-2 against the spread. The best over teams: Bowling Green 19-5, Iowa 18-6-1, Santa Clara at Gonzaga tomorrow 17-9-1, Bama. Oregon State and 17-7 to the over, and Bama 17-9 to the over. The best under teams: Austin P 19-4, UC Irvine 13-4, Hawaii 13-5-1, and Georgia State 15-4. And I've ranted enough. There's some basketball scoopage for the weekend.
I like it, man. We're getting close. Conference tournament time. Selection Sunday just around the corner. NCAA tournament. So that's good info to know for sure.
Absolutely.
All right, let's jump into it. Our last segment here, the perfect parlay. We're not getting rid of this at all. Now, I'll tell you what. It's opening weekend, college baseball. All right, so I got a 3-leg parlay that I'm going with here. First up, Tennessee baseball money line today against Georgia Southern. Now, they're like minus 255 on the money line, total of 9.5. Tennessee should handle their business there. Also interesting for anybody who played baseball, watches baseball, enjoys it. Tennessee's starting lineup today, their first 4 hitters are all DH and outfield. Like, when do you ever see that? All of them. You know what I mean? Like, usually you've got a shortstop or a second baseman mixed in there, but they're going to be looking to mash early. It's cold out there. Should be a nice pitcher's setting. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Tennessee money line. I'm going to go Vanderbilt money line. They're at home against Oklahoma State, who Oklahoma State is a hell of a baseball team. Like, that's going to be a fun series. Vanderbilt, I believe, is about a minus 165 on the money line. So I'm going to parlay Tennessee, Vanderbilt, both on the money line, and then VCU straight up money line tonight in basketball to win. Those 3 get you plus 277. So what you got, brother?
All right. I am going to go with a 4-team money line in college hoops tonight. I'm going to put Maryland in there at -130 rather than the -1.5 or 2 that I already suggested. I'm going to go Mississippi State -640 at home to Missouri. And just a little nugget, I don't think I mentioned this one. Mississippi State has won 9 of the last 10 against Missouri, and they're 10-0 against the spread. But I don't want to lay the 11. So Mississippi State -640 on the money line at the hump to Mizzou. And then let's go Monmouth -280 on the money line at home to Rider, and St. John's -350 on the money line at home to Butler. And by the way, that's the game I like over. That's a 5 p.m. Eastern tip. So we're only, about an hour and a half away from tip on that. So in review, St. John's -350, Monmouth -280, Mississippi State -640, Maryland -130. 100 will get you $230.10.
Attaboy. All right, real quick before we head out of here, let's recap our bets that we have for tonight for this weekend. So I've got VCU -2.5. I have Detroit -1. Tonight in the NBA Rising Stars Challenge, I'm going with Team Peyton +300. The NBA All-Star Game on Sunday, going with the over 321. And then a 3-leg parlay +277. Tennessee baseball money line, Vanderbilt baseball money line, and VCU basketball money line. Brian, what do you got?
All right, I'm going St. John's Butler. It was over 141 at last look. I have not looked at that line in a while, though. And then Maryland -1.5 or 2 at Nebraska, and Rider Monmouth. I got it at 138, but I know it was down to 137 an hour or so ago. It's those 3, and then the parlay that's +230, St. John's, Monmouth, Mississippi State, Maryland on the money line. All those are tonight, starting with the St. John's at 5 Eastern. And UFC tomorrow. I don't really love anything, but I will give one pick. The Jim Miller, Nicholas Mata under 2.5 rounds at a -120 price. 6 of Jim Miller's fights, 6 of his last 10 fights have ended in round 1. 7 have ended in round 1 or 2. And he is second all time in UFC history in submission wins, but he also gets knocked out sometimes. And
a problem.
Under, right? So I'll go under on that. He either takes somebody's arm or their neck, or he gets knocked the F out. So under on Jim Miller and Mota. And there we go.
Nice. Dude, nice call, by the way, last weekend for UFC 271 with the 2 big boys going. And then taking shoeies afterward.
Well, I had the prop to win in round 1, which was a loss. But if you had it under 1.5 rounds, that was a win. So hopefully most people did the under 1.5. Yeah. I unfortunately lost because I had the prop to win in round 1.
That was a hell of a fight, man.
To end in round 1, sorry.
Sure. Yeah, that was a dude. That was just a fight. Like how you broke it down beforehand. You just had basically just 2 brick walls. They're gonna be throwing at each other. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, Bam Bam's now got 5 KO wins by finish, all inside of 2 rounds. Bam Bam Tuivasa, that's his nickname, Shoey guy. And man, I don't know if I'm sure the rankings are out. I'm pretty sure he moved in the top 5. I mean, he's probably only 1 win away from a title shot, and he's fun, man. Follow him on Instagram. Dude's always chugging beers.
I love it. It's my kind of guy. Speaking of that, we'll let everybody get to that, start their weekend, have a cold one. But yeah, thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. A to Z Sports brought to you by BetMGM. For everybody here, I'm Alan Bell, Brian Edwards. Man, let's hit some picks. Let's crush some bets this weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks to Austin for getting me my new A to Z gear. Fresh.
Yeah, I was going to say you look good, bro. Take care, y'all.